You know, we all see Coca-Cola everywhere. But what if I told you one guy turned this everyday soda into a personal ATM that spits out over $800 million a year in cash? And no, this wasn't some lucky stock pick. This was a blueprint, a masterclass in how to build wealth. Just look at that number, $816 million. That's what Berkshire Hathaway gets from Coca-Cola every single year in dividends alone. We're talking over $2 million a day from one single investment made decades ago. It's hard to even wrap your head around that. And here's the thing you have to get. This didn't happen by chance. It was a strategy, a deliberate, calculated plan that was years in the making, all built on one core insight. So, what's the real secret behind one of the greatest investments of all time? Well, let's pull back the curtain.
To really get this billion-dollar bet, you've got to go back way before the money. We're talking 50 years of homework. And this story, it doesn't start on Wall Street. It starts with a 6-year-old kid going door to door in Omaha.
See, his history with Coke started way back. As a kid, he wasn't just drinking it. He was an entrepreneur, selling bottles door to door and pocketing a 20% profit on every six-pack. He understood the unit economics from day one. Then, at his grandfather's grocery store, he watched people come in and not ask for a soda. They'd ask for a Coke. That's when the light bulb went off about the power of a brand. Heck, the guy started drinking 5 Cokes a day himself. This was all research, you know? Decades of it. Just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And that right there, that's his entire philosophy in a nutshell. While the rest of Wall Street was chasing these crazy, complex new ideas, Buffett was just focused on things he could actually understand. And man, did he understand Coca-Cola. And what a business model it was. It was so simple, it was genius. Think about it. Coca-Cola didn't need to own the expensive bottling plants or the fleets of trucks. All they did was create the secret syrup, sell that concentrate to their partners all over the world, and just sit back and collect checks with these massive profit margins. It was a pure cash machine.
Okay, so Buffett knew the business like the back of his hand. But he still needed the right price. And to get that, he needed chaos. He needed a crisis. And boy, in the late 1980s, a perfect storm of fear was about to hand him the opportunity of a lifetime.
The scene was just pure, unadulterated panic. On a day they call Black Monday, the market had its biggest one-day crash ever. The only emotion on Wall Street was terror. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was shouting the same thing. Sell! Get out now! Run! And this just shows you the difference in mindset. It's night and day. Where Wall Street saw complete chaos, Buffett saw a once-in-a-generation sale. While Wall Street was still shaking its head about the new Coke disaster, Buffett saw it as absolute proof of the brand's incredible power. So while the entire world was screaming sell, Buffett was sharpening his pencil, getting ready to buy a champion.
This is probably his most famous line, right? But here's the thing. For him, it wasn't just a clever saying. He was about to bet over $1 billion on this one simple idea. As the world was drowning in fear, Warren Buffett decided it was time to get greedy.
And we have to stop and appreciate this insight because it's brilliant. That whole new Coke disaster, the public was so outraged they had to bring back the old formula. It was like a massive accidental stress test for the brand. And it proved, without a doubt, that people's connection to Coke wasn't just about taste. It was emotional, deeply emotional. Coca-Cola didn't just sell a drink, it owned real estate in people's minds. So what on earth gave him the confidence to go all in when everyone else was running for the exit? Well, it all came down to this one powerful idea he has, the company's unbreakable economic moat.
The analogy is so simple, but it's so powerful. You know, a great castle needs a deep, wide moat to keep the bad guys out. Well, a great business needs the same thing, a durable advantage that protects it from competitors. And in Buffett's eyes, Coca-Cola didn't just have a moat. It had a fortress surrounded by a crocodile-infested sea.
So what was this moat made of? 3 things, really. First, you've got the brand itself, the most recognized logo on Earth. When you thought thirst, you thought Coke. Second, the business was just rock solid and predictable. People drank it in good times and bad. And third, its global distribution network was an absolute marvel, with so much room left to grow around the world. And this was the key to his thinking. He wasn't dumpster diving looking for some broken company that was super cheap. No. He was hunting for a world-class champion that a scared, irrational market was temporarily putting on sale. And in 1988, that's exactly what he found in Coca-Cola.
So, the homework was done, his conviction was sky high, and with one decisive move, Buffett set in motion what he likes to call an unstoppable financial snowball. Now, he didn't just dip a toe in the water. He swung for the fences. He plowed about $1.3 billion into Coke stock. To put that in perspective, at the time, this one investment made up as much as 35% of Berkshire Hathaway's entire portfolio. This wasn't diversification. This was a massive, all-in, high-conviction bet.
So he made the bet, and then came the hardest part of the entire strategy, the part where almost everyone else fails. He did nothing. Absolutely nothing. He didn't sell when there was a recession. He didn't get spooked by bad headlines. He just sat on his hands for over 30 years and let this incredible business do its thing.
And the results? They're just staggering. Get this. Because Coke kept raising its dividend year after year, Berkshire now gets over 62% of its original investment back in cash. Every single year. Think about that. They get more than half of what they paid for the company back in cash annually. That's what we call yield on cost, and it is the ultimate passive income machine.
And that's just the dividends. The $1.3 billion investment itself has ballooned to be worth around $27 billion today. And that doesn't even count the billions upon billions in cash dividends they've collected along the way. If you ever want to see the raw power of compounding, this is it.
So when you boil it all down, this incredible success story comes from just 4 forces working together. 1, find a truly great business with a deep moat. 2, buy it at a fair, sensible price. 3, have the patience of a saint and just hold on. And 4, let the 8th wonder of the world, compounding, do all the heavy lifting for you.
But listen, this isn't just some fun story about a rich guy getting richer. It's a blueprint. It's filled with timeless lessons that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn from. So what's the takeaway for us? It's pretty simple, actually. First, invest inside your circle of competence. Stick to what you truly understand. Second, always be on the lookout for that powerful, protective economic moat. Third, remember that price is just what you pay, but value is what you get. Don't confuse the two. And finally, and this might be the most important one, never, ever underestimate the power of time. And all of this leaves us with a really interesting question to chew on. If you take these lessons and apply them to the world today, what modern company do you think has an economic moat as deep and as wide as Coca-Cola's did back in 1988? What's the next great compounding machine that might just be hiding in plain sight?